What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Week 17 Matchup live stream here at fantasypoints.com. I am John Hansen. Greg Cosell here in the Zoom room, along with our guy, Ben Kukanis, on the other side of the glass. Our other guy, Mr. Adam Caplan, will be joining us in a moment. He's a big shot. He's doing some sort of TV thing. But, Greg, we can get started here and kick it off. No game tonight, obviously. Greg, it's the most important weekend in the history of fantasy football, of course, as you know. So no pressure, you know. On that note, we'll move forward. I think I gave that joke one too many times to Greg Cosell. One too many.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a guy that it's funnier the 15th time, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into it with the Rams and the Ravens. You watched the Ram tape. How Michelle looks like he fit into, focusing a little bit more on him. Stafford, uneven, this year here, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't need to spend a lot of time talking about the pass part of it, because I think Sony Michel, as we've discussed, John, the last 4 games, Sony Michel has the most rushing attempts and rushing yards in the NFL, ahead of Jonathan Taylor. So they've committed to running the football, to it being a significant part of their offense, which was not the case earlier in the season.
Yeah, and then of course this matchup here, and you watched Joe Burrow, Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, this could be a nuclear blow-up spot for a guy like OBJ. I mean, you just never know. But certainly Ram offense should, they don't maybe travel all that well here in this environment. But as we know, Greg, by the way, it's going to be unseasonably warm here on the East Coast this weekend. So I would imagine that the Ram offense will be just fine.
Yeah, weather's not going to be an issue. So, I think they'll throw the ball. We obviously know that there are issues in the secondary, and Wink Martindale has kind of changed his MO quite a bit. This team is playing far more zone. They're not quite as aggressive with pressure because he knows that he can't match up on the back end, and he certainly can't match up on the back end to the Rams receivers.
And, we certainly will find out about the quarterback situation here, because Lamar, it didn't practice on Thursday.
He did not practice, and apparently he's limping badly. I would be surprised. Again, I don't know, but I would really be kind of surprised if he goes.
And Tyler Huntley has been activated off the COVID-19 list, so I assume
he will
that
start.
We are trending toward Tyler Huntley here. What have you watched his tape? What have you seen from him?
So I can't speak to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This Raven run D is still pretty good though, right? Overall,
it's solid. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that will limit what the Rams try to do with the run game. I think they'll still try to play the way they've been successfully playing.
Yeah. And, also Mark Andrews must start. Hollywood Brown. Greg, I don't view Hollywood Brown as a guy that they would necessarily travel like Jalen Ramsey, which presumably they traveled Ramsey last week on Jefferson.
They did a good part of the game, not 100%, and not a case where they said, here's the matchup. They did match him up at times. It was a more significant part of the game than often is the case with Ramsey. But he did not play a ton of man. Because they play zone a ton, but he did line up over him. There were some good matchups. I went through that tape, I think today, John, and it was a good matchup. I would say Jefferson ultimately got the better of it.
Yeah.
Just not because of the numbers, because a lot of his catches came when he was not on Ramsey, but obviously watching every single play, he got on top of Ramsey once where the ball was not thrown to him. He ran away from Ramsey where Cousins was late with the throw, and Ramsey was able to recover. So it made it look like Ramsey made a good play, but he was actually beaten. So I thought Jefferson actually got the better of it.
Yeah, and we welcome in Mr. Caplan. Adam, quickly on the Raven quarterback situation here, not looking great for Lamar, and I presume that Tyler Huntley would be in line to start.
Yeah, he worked today, so we'll see what happens tomorrow, but not looking good for Lamar, because look, he had a noticeable limp on Wednesday, didn't work Thursday. I mean, how much improvement can you possibly make? And they have to win this game. They know that. And Huntley worked today, so it's looking good for Huntley, but we'll learn more tomorrow.
Falcons, Bills. And Greg, one of the better games on tape last week for Josh Allen.
Oh yeah. They're the most quarterback-centric team in the league, and they asked Josh Allen to be Superman every week. And last week he was close to that. He'll always miss a few here and there because that's the kind of thrower he is. But he really was special last week, and I don't see any reason why they're not going to continue to play that way.
Adam, do you think we have some sort of separation here running back with Devin Singletary? He does seem to be taking over here.
Yeah. It's not even in question. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they might explode this week and give him 8 carries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's the guy
where he does get volume late. This could be a game where they don't have to throw it. Actually.
How about Matt Breida went from the penthouse to the outhouse? Interesting.
Well, he was irrelevant for 2 months, and then he got a 3-week window there.
Yep, and then they benched him again.
Yeah, that was it. Obviously, it's a tough spot for the Falcons. Greg, even for Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts last week, the matchup was great. But this week, they got those linebackers, Milano and Edmonds. You got Hyde and Poyer. That's probably a bad matchup for Kyle Pitts.
Think of it this way, though. I think your sense, John, would be that they're going to have to throw the ball, right?
For sure. So
he's going to get targets. So when you say it's a bad matchup, he might get 12 targets. And now maybe he catches 6 balls, but he could go 6 for 90. He's not going to have 1 catch.
Yeah. It's literally over the last 8 weeks by the numbers, the worst matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
Like in every metric, expected points added per target, all that crap. So
but keep in mind, the one thing I keep in mind, and believe me, I'm just giving you based on what the tape says, is that he does not line up as a traditional tight end. He does
that's true.
Some of the time, obviously, but he lines up as your boundary X.
Very true.
So he's going to line up in places that are wide receiver locations. And so it's not a case of, here's a tight end that the Bills are good against. He's not going to be a traditional conventional tight end.
Oh, sure. I could, though, see a game like week 1 against the Eagles, 8 targets, 4 grabs for 31, something like that. Moving on, receivers for the Bills, by the way, that's a tough one here.
They're all back now, so you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. They're all back. And Greg, when you watch the tape, you don't get a sense. Other than Diggs and then Dawson Knox as a check down guy, everything else seemingly is kind of week to week, right?
Yeah, I think McKenzie was a factor last week because they played a team that played a lot of man in the Patriots, and they really liked the matchup of McKenzie versus Bryan in the slot. And McKenzie runs totally different routes. He's a different player than Beasley. They would not have run those routes if it was Beasley. They ran man beater routes where McKenzie ran away from coverage. Beasley's not that kind of receiver. Beasley doesn't run away from coverage.
Yeah. There are some days, though, where it's a Beasley day, and not exactly easy to figure that out.
No, it's hard. That's hard to know, especially with Dean Pease, who does a lot of different things. Like, I can't sit here and tell you, here's what Dean Pease will do in this game. He does a lot of different things.
Yeah. So it's great news for Allen, but Gabe Davis, Manny Sanders, I don't know, McKenzie probably not, and of course Diggs looking good. Giants, Bears, Adam. I didn't see today yet with Fields. Any update on Justin Fields from Thursday?
Yeah, they told me it was going to come down to Friday because he's just working the ankle back. And Dalton's fine, come back from the groin injury. So they'll know after Friday's practice kind of who's going to start. No matter, even if they don't announce it, they'll know. They need to get Fields as many reps as he can get, but it's still not. He's not over the ankle injury yet.
Yeah, and we're not trusting Allen Robinson coming off COVID, talking about losing 10 pounds. But at least having A-Rob in the mix is good news.